First off, I just want to thank all of those who watched my first video, Finding the Key Instantly. We've got over 2,000 hits now, and I'm really happy with that. So it really prompted me to make this follow-up video. If you haven't seen the first video, go ahead and click right here and watch that one, and then come back and see this one. So last time we learned how to find the key. Now we're going to jump into more complex concepts like figuring out the chords through first finding the bass. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to listen to the lowest note possible. So I'm going to play this song for you. We're going to figure out the bass.
Party girls, don't get hurt, can't feel anything. When will I learn? I push it down, push it down.
Okay, so it's not so obvious right now. There's not really a lot of bass going on. There is a lowest note in there, but we're going to wait a little bit until we hear like the very obvious bass choice.
I'm the one for a good time call, phone's blowing up. Ring on my doorbell, I feel the love, I feel the love. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1.
Okay, so right there we already hear this note. Duh, you know, we have that low bass note, so we have to find that. Oh, first try. And so we have and then we have and then we have and then it goes da. Okay, so I'm gonna play that for you again. We're gonna go back a little bit.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3. Turn back till I know stop. Gonna swing from the chandelier.
Okay, are you hearing that note that's just constantly that? It's like that dull sound at the very bottom. Chandelier, from the chandelier. Okay? So we've got that going on. I want to talk about some of the obstacles that we find when trying to find the bass note, because it's not always obvious, it's not always easy, and it's not always the loudest thing. So what we want to do is we want to focus on that dull percussive sound of the bass, okay? When the bass is moving constantly, it's kind of hard to hear where the note is, but I want to help you out with that. So let's play this song real quick. I went ahead and let the intro go because it's not as obvious there, but once we come into when the singer comes in, we have some bass stuff going on. So I'm going to just rewind it just a little bit and come right in.
I'm so in love with you.
Okay, you hear the bass? It's like doing this kind of doom, 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 doom. Okay, I want to rewind it, and we're going to do that again.
I'm so in love with you.
Okay, so it's... and then it has... there. Okay, so the note that it's always coming back to seems to be this one right here, this F. Okay, so it's... although it's playing these other notes too, you know, right? Which are important, but they're mainly just passing, you know. They're not important because first of all, it's not starting on those notes, it's starting on this one. And then it's coming back to this one. Okay? So even though there's some movement going on, this is the main thing, okay? And the reason why they have movement going is just to make it more interesting. So it's not just like I am so in love with you. You know, that would just be boring, okay? So they change it up, they embellish it a little bit, and that's fine. Okay, so let's listen a little bit more. Okay, so now it has this kind of thing going on. I don't know if that's exactly what it is, that's just what I'm hearing. Okay, you may be hearing, maybe you're hearing more notes. I'm pretty sure this is what's going on. Guess which note is the important one here. Okay, again, we're lingering on one note more than the other. And if you guess this one right here, this D, then you're correct, okay? And then we're coming back to it. Hold it, we're coming back to it. All right? So those are the important ones. So in a moving bass line, it's really important to distinguish which note is actually the bass and which ones are just passing. Okay? Because I know that can get a little bit confusing. Okay, we're going to drive the point a little bit further, okay? And we're going to find the, we're going to go through another song, but we're going to try to find the middle note and the top note to define the chord, whatever the chord is, okay? So here's a song where it's very, very obvious from the get-go what those are. Okay, so that's the main progression right there. So I want you to listen to it again, and this time, notice that there's not just two notes, those two notes that you hear at the top. There's also another note at the base of it, and I want you to listen for that and single that out, even though these two are overwhelmingly more loud. Did you hear it? You can especially hear it on the third chord. I'll show you exactly where that is. I'm going to play it one more time. So, if you're at your piano and you're trying this out, I very much encourage you to do that. But you can hear this. Okay, so this is the bass going on here. These are the top chord, top note, top notes going on over here. Now, this doesn't tell us the quality of the chord, really. It just tells us that these two notes are being played, and they're very loud and they're obvious. And this one is more understated, and it's the bass.
To major tom, ground control to major tom.
Okay, so those are the prominent notes here. We have this, ground control to major tom, right? And then we have this right here. Okay, now I don't want you to be fooled. This is tricky right here because this is not the bass of the next chord. This is just a note that's in the chord. It's actually the fifth of that chord. This is the bass of the chord, the first one. And then we have this other note, and we have this very prominent note being played by some instrument. I'm not sure what it is. Okay? Alright, so if we play this, we build a major chord off of it, the third and the fifth. Ground control to major tom. And then we're not quite sure what this is. Alright, not just yet. Okay, so listen to this.
Take your protein pill. Ground control to major tom.
Okay, so I know that I hear that's very prominent. So that note is staying while this one's going here. Okay? So we know that these two notes are going on here. I want you to listen to it again.
Ground control to major tom.
You hear it? It's more like up here in the guitar. It's doing that rhythmic thing going on. Okay, let's go back just a little bit. I want you to listen to it one more time, okay?
Ground control to major tom.
Okay? And then, of course, we hear that's coming in again. That's just reaffirming that this note is in there. But don't get tricked by that. That doesn't mean that it's the root of the chord.
Ground control to major tom.
so I'm also hearing this, which is not as obvious. It's actually very, very quiet. It's hard to hear. This is in some cases where you have to make a guesstimation about what makes sense, okay? So you have this, the first chord, and then, all right? So I wanted to leave you with one extra little tidbit, and that is most of the popular songs that you're bound to learn are going to be in 3 parts: your verse, your chorus, and your bridge. If you learn one verse, you've already learned 40% of the song, because all of the other verses are going to be the same. If you've learned one bridge in addition to that verse, then you've learned 90% of the song. Okay? So then you only have that extra 10% left, which is the bridge, and you only have to play that once. So, just something to keep in mind, that when you're learning these songs, you only have to work a section at a time. And if you're ever getting frustrated with these concepts that I've been talking to you guys about, just know that with practice, in a few weeks' time, it's going to be second nature. You're not even going to be thinking about it anymore. It's not ever going to be an issue. Okay? So, remember, find the key first. And then second, recognize and be able to isolate the bass line so that you can find the chords. We're going to be talking more about chords later in later videos, and I want you to watch out for that. If you want to learn more about myself and how I can help you with the piano, then I've left a link below for my website, and I'll talk to you later, and I'll see you in the next video.